I wanted you. Well, you don't even have to bring it up. I'm sorry, not bring it up. You don't have to introduce it. It was my man's. Here we go. My man Jeff Bezos, his
Oh yeah,
ex-wife.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought this was such an opportunity, it makes sense why you brought this up because you being from where you're from, we saw ancestry.com. What is that? 46% Norwegian or something like that. 56. It said something like that. So of
Something
course
like
you would
that.
have brought up. So you would have brought up Jeff Bezos and his ex-wives let their children use sharp knives and power tools and all that at a young age, and as soon as I looked at the title, right, I just read, I did the typical black thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's some white shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then just scroll through and didn't even, I mean, went to the other topics and didn't even pay it no mind until I got, until I want to say yesterday when I was going over the doc. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and see what a billionaire's take on some white shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because isn't Jeff Bezos not even white? It's so weird. Like, I don't know. Oh, I think he's,
Yeah, man.
I,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. He might be a African or something, or half Cajun, a half Cajun or something. I don't know because this is
Half
weird.
Creole,
Or
quarter
yeah, something.
Creole.
I don't know. Maybe. Oh no, is his wife white? Because
His ex,
yeah, the X
she was
one. Yeah, the
white.
one. Oh, okay,
She was a
there it
white
is. I'm
lady.
like, it's got an imprint of some Caucasian on it. It's got a whiff of Caucasian esque attitude on this. Like, but no, but it said, yeah. Look, it was weird because like I had mixed feelings about it when I read it because when they said it was like okay cool when the way they said it was kind of based on good principles that I've heard before like okay well they'll learn faster if they hurt themselves cool like what I mean I'm like okay cool that makes sense okay cool but wait what was the phrase you said I'd rather have I'd rather my kid have 9 fingers and resourceful than resourcefulness like whatever I said oh okay well you know and then I started thinking about what the next bullet point you brought up was everybody is entitled to raise their children however they want to raise their children. There is no set program, no set curriculum. You know what I mean? Like, however you like, what did Homer Simpson say on The Simpsons? He said, "I love having children. You could teach them to hate everything you hate." Like, and I was like, "Whoa, that's
There it
pretty
is.
much how it works." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah," in a nutshell. Like, yeah, okay, whoop, there it is.
There it is.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay, but that goes for everything, including beliefs, ideologies, just habits, down to eating habits, like anything. And let's not forget the DNA itself. Like, so certain things are going to automatically make more sense and gravitate towards that person because they're part of you anyway. So, but also sometimes like when you're a billionaire and shit, and you know what I'm saying, you came up like maybe you just be freestyling some shit. Like, you know what, I want to make a better version of me. Like, you know what I mean? Hold on, like I wish
Hmm.
somebody would have let me try this shit. Like, I'm a billionaire. If he lose a finger, we'll buy him a new hand. Fuck it. I don't know. Give him some. I mean, we don't know. Like, we don't know what goes on in his mind. Like, you know what I mean? This is above our
True,
tax
true,
bracket.
true.
But I'm saying though, you never know. Like, we don't.
Never
This is
know.
above my tax bracket. But as far as the parenting aspect, though, I thought that was a good idea because that you brought up because that hits on a deeper topic of parenting because that's not just one thing that people can disagree on or even agree on um, about parenting. Like down to the minutest detail of parenting, somebody can pick it apart and scrutinize and analyze it in 20 different ways. Every decision you make, starting from as soon as your child wakes up and puts their feet on the ground. Like, I'm serious. So it's kind of weird that I mean, that's when I started to actually put my judge hat away. When I was like, that's some white
Hmm.
shit. They always be woo woo woo, and they always. And I was like, wait a minute, because I done seen some people, you know, what I mean, on our side, do some parenting things that aren't very flattering to our melanin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I don't know. That's pretty much my take on it. But we can
Yeah,
definitely
man.
come back up to parenting thing. But I want to know what you thought about it.
If anything, it did have that clickbaity feel. but I felt this was a good jump off point in terms of just us having a conversation just about parenting. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like you got a child. I got mad friends with children.
mm,
I was once a child. You were once a child. Like so, like you know what I mean? Like we all have some kind of experience or
sure.
experiences with it, right?
Mm, mm,
And we're just in a new time and a new era. So um, I think like a pod ago, maybe two, we were talking about like letting parents kind of parent kind of thing.
we were.
And I just
I remember.
and I feel like this kind of just ties back to that, like, yo, like, um, I probably wouldn't do it the same way, but I'm glad he
Mm,
got to do what he wanted to do in terms of being a parent, you know what I mean? And or both of them, since not just him. Obviously, she was saying the same thing. Um, you know what I mean? But kind of digging into him, like and learning, he's like a Texas, like he's a man's man, you know what I mean? Like a
yeah, for sure.
so it makes sense. Like, oh yeah, yeah, that's how
Yeah,
country people are. Like my dad's from the country, so
yeah,
yeah.
mine too. Mine too.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So
yeah.
in that sense, I just was like, okay, like I would not like everybody should do this, especially because he's a billionaire or anything. But it just to me shows like billionaires got regular like parenting decisions they have to make,
Mm,
and
true.
it's just interesting to hear about it. But nobody really parents the same, like you said. Like people can agree on it, people cannot agree on it, and I thought that
Mm.
was just mad dope. And just just a little conversation, and just want to see what you wanted
Yeah,
to talk about in terms of like
yeah.
your
I
limits
mean,
or finding out
there's yeah,
your
but there's lots of
yeah.
things you could. I mean, just even one avenue is like, because like you said, I have a child, and mad people with children. You made a choice not to have children, or you're just not having children yet. And sometimes when I be having conversations with my son, like, I be like, okay, yeah, it was a good decision. I was like, you know what I mean? But sometimes you be looking at him like, are you sure you mine? Why do I? Why do you say stuff like this? You know what I'm saying? But nah, but honestly, but to be real with you, I started really thinking about it. Like at the end of the day, isn't parenting kind of just one big experiment? Like you,
You cooking.
you can have a set curriculum. Like right, check this out. Right, here's an example. Say there's a class to get your law degree at Howard. I'm sorry, Howard or Harvard doesn't matter. They both actually have that class there. And you graduate from let's say Howard. Okay, you graduate from Howard. Boom. Let's say you had 20 people that graduated in your class. Does that mean they're all going to become the same type of lawyer? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like
So
nah.
you can exactly. So you can raise a child with the same type of thing that your parents told you and that worked for you, but it doesn't mean that child is going to come out exactly like you. So it's like and it's crazy because I notice a lot of parents like they always try to like even me, I'm guilty of it as well. A lot of parents try to um trauma heal or heal from their previous trauma by
Yeah.
being like, "Ooh, this was bad for me, and so I would never do that to my kid." When technically, maybe your kid need that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like sometimes it's nature versus nurture. Like sometimes like the things that were so traumatic, or not traumatic, but the things you perceived as traumatic or things that were bad to you, probably are some of the things that might have saved your life and you didn't realize it yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe some of those things were messed up. But maybe your child might need that though, because he's different or she's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know. Like a perfect example, the sorry, the abort issue that's always everybody's always talking about, spanking.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. That's an easy topic. Like I got spanked all the time. Didn't stop me from doing shit. Like, you know what I mean? At all. Didn't work on me at all. So then I was okay, cool. So let's say I tried the no spanking approach with my child, and I feel like that was a mistake that I made because I was thinking about my childhood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-mm.
I'm realizing nowadays that should have got active on that tushy, like a little earlier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Should have got real militant on that, like real, you know what I mean? Should have got, you know what I mean, up in arms with it, neighborhood watch with it. Like It take a village with it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god. Oh
Like, but
man, we
hey,
get mad AKAs, mad examples.
yeah, if
It's
you would
too
have seen this
good.
report card, bro, if you would have seen this report card.
Oh, that was
Whoa.
great.
But anyway,
Oh
but yeah.
man.
But like I said though, like everything, like I said, so at the end of the day though, parenting is at the end of the day an experiment. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're like, even like I said, just my case, like we're electing to
It's
use our
good.
words because like honestly, when I got older, I was like, I wish somebody would have just talked to me. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm intelligent, I'm smart. Like, you know what I mean? I see things, I've been through things, like, you know what I mean? And sometimes that type of mentality doesn't work for the next generation, or maybe not this generation per se, but maybe the next down the
Or that
line. Maybe
child.
yeah, exactly. Maybe that might not work on my son, or but it might work on a daughter if I have a daughter, like, you know what I mean, or it might not, you know what I mean, or you know what I mean, or another, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
either way, like you can't, not everybody's the same person, even if they come from you or the next thing. Like it's funny because which is weird though, because I'm exactly like my dad though, which is weird because you can see it, right? Which well, sorry, what makes it weird because this is completely DNA. You know that I haven't seen my father since I was very young, and then I saw him again when my child was, you know what I mean, in the world. And it turns out we just have the same personality. It's funny. It's funny to watch and be like, when you say the apple don't fall from far from the tree. Sometimes it's really a thing. DNA is interesting. But like I said, the whole thing in my head, I was saying in my head, I wish I would have had somebody to talk to me instead of just a belt or like, so I, you know what I mean? So I try it this way and then maybe that doesn't work. And that's just what parenting is. Um, I want to know your opinion about that because you know that topic of just spanking in general, like because like people who don't have children are usually the first ones to be like, well, that's just human abuse, like and things like that. So what do you think about that, or just anything? Just anything about that subject, really?
I just feel like you should be able to find other ways um, to motivate, demotivate. I'm
Mm,
not saying it's easy, but
yeah.
it might have to be the iPad. It might have to be, yeah, I don't want to give them the iPad, but that means I have to not do something and watch them. Like, well, like maybe that suffering for that time might be what it takes. You know what I mean? Like just
Okay.
gotta, for me, you just gotta find ways. Like
Mm,
it's not, you know what I mean? I feel like the spanking is like one easily can be traumatic for different people in way different ways.
mm.
Um, so I just leave that alone. But there's ways, you gotta find, you gotta pull the levers and learn and find the levers you can pull and try to see what to do to motivate and keep them on the right path from my understanding of things.
Makes sense.
But it's hard to have that time and energy with your child, especially if it's not like y'all live in the same place or
Right.
all types of other circumstances where people are just working so much right now. Like,
Right. Well, I mean,
which,
well, oh, you know what? That's another. Ooh, you cooking now? Ooh, that just opens
yeah,
up the
man.
whole can of worms. Ooh, like what happens about the people who are parenting in different households? Ooh, that. Ooh, now you cooking. Oh, because you know what I mean, one thing that's good at mom house might not be the same thing at dad house. And let's be real,
Yes,
nine times
sir.
out of ten, it's not. Like
Oh, it's
so.
a different type of lifestyle at each,
Oh yeah,
from my
yeah. Oh
experiences.
wow, definitely mine. We both got that in common. We both know about that all day. Yeah, for sure. Yes. And lack thereof. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I, you know, that's I'm glad you said that. Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
man, we just having a talk. You know what I mean? We just having a talk.
Yeah. No, it's just interesting because now I'm understanding how because I'm trying to figure out how much I want to divulge about a situation because it's not that
Yeah, it
serious.
gets a little true
But
for sure,
yeah,
for
it
sure.
gets really tricky. But it's like I'm just gonna say that when you're co-parenting in
Mm.
two different households, um you really have to be on the same page as the other parent to make it work. That's what I definitely want to say because once the child feels like there's a way to maneuver, the child's gonna maneuver. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just what children do. That's nothing bad. It's just it's just a child thing. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we all did as children. Like,
Human
I just
nature.
recommend one thing when you're co-parenting: just make sure you get on the same page, somehow, some way. Like, definitely set up some good, healthy dialogue communication. Because at the end of the day, the main goal is the child's well-being. Like, so
100%.
that's the only thing I can really say about that. Because I know it can get difficult, and we can have a conversation about that another day. But that's not the conversation. The conversation
Yeah,
about
yeah,
parenting.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
like I said about parenting, it's just like I said, it's children. I learned what I have learned. They learn
Mhm.
better from stability. It doesn't matter if it's the same. Like I said, sorry, I said not stability. I say repetitiveness. That's what children
Oh,
gravitate
like
towards more.
routine. Yeah, yeah.
Routine, exactly. So if they're used to seeing everything messed up, messed up, messed up, messed up, messed up, when things get normal, they start freaking out. They don't know how to adjust. When they're used to seeing good communication, everything's going on, boo boo. When something's not good, or kind of good communication, maybe they might speak up or they'll have a conversation with a parent because they're so used to conversation and dialogue and things like that. If the kid is just used to getting hit when every time something doesn't go right, then they get used to hiding things because they're worried about that type of, what I mean? So, like I said, it's a slippery slope because I know somebody, like I said, it affects everybody different. I know somebody who got spanked one time when they was a kid, like the boss. Like I talked to them, I talked to her, and I said, and she said, "Oh yeah, my dad spanked me that one time. I remember, never again." Like I was like, "Wow, how old were you?
But that was
4."
kind of, but that
I'm
was what
like
it was
4.
supposed to be for. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like now it's just like every time I just get the look, you have a mental muscle memory on that tushy. Like, what I'm saying? Even 20 years later, like even 30 years later, like I remember. Like I
Pinch
remember.
nerves,
Like
tighten up.
for sure. For sure. Immediately endorphins kick in, she starts sweating. Like,
Right?
but it's funny, but it's not funny though, but it's like certain people are like that. Like I can give you another example. Rest in peace, my beautiful grandmother. I remember she was telling me back in the day in 1950 or something like that. She used to smoke cigarettes, and she was what's called she was crossing some cigarettes down the little check stand, whatever, a carton. They was like, and
Mm-hmm.
the lady at the checkout said that's 5 cents. She said 5 cents. Oh, they don't went up from 2 cents to five now. Oh, I can't do this. And she said she put the carton down and she said that she never smoked a cigarette again in her life. And I was like, wait, how? She said, because like, no, my daddy told me it was wrong, and I knew what I was doing was wrong, and that was easy for me to do. And just like, what I mean? It just go in her head because the
That was the
parenting
trigger of the
plus like it,
mathematics. Yeah.
it just hit. Like it's crazy because like and certain people are like that. Like, and that's because of certain parenting works on certain people. So I don't know. Like, and one thing I definitely want to say is though, I don't like when people judge people for how their parenting style is because you only get to see one thing right now in this essence, this clip, this, what I mean? You ain't wake up
Yeah.
with this crusty mother. Like, you don't know he ain't took a bath in 2 days and I've been fighting him. Like, or, I mean, it's hypothetical. We're talking about mine. But I'm saying, like, I'm saying, how people, parents be like you be at the mall or some shit and your son be like, Mom, let me get this. Like, I told you, stupid ass. Like, he'd be like, damn, they'll chill out. No, fuck all that. You don't know. He actually flunked out of science. We have to go to his goddamn funeral. He been having an attitude. I gotta buy this damn shirt. He been talking shit. Like, and I'm like, what I'm saying? We don't know what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're just at Safeway seeing them like have an attitude real quick. Like, we don't know. So that's one thing I want to say. Like, one thing we got to do is stop being quick to rush on the judgment when it comes to parenting. Like, what I mean? We don't know. Like, trust me, especially we don't have a kid. You don't know.
That part. That part.
But any parenting advice you want to give?
No, I don't got no kids.
Damn, damn, I thought I might get him one. Thought I might get him one. I was like, who?
If you need an outside opinion, you know to holler
Yeah, a
at.
counselor,
Yeah, man.
a
Yeah.
counselor.
But we can get off that, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say a psychological professional. Like, no, don't holler
Right?
at me about nothing.